We already talked about Artio in a recent video. However, with the new patch there's a lot of new information on her, both from Hi-Risk side as well as other sources. In this video we'll talk about the information that is available now, as well as show you the gameplay footage, or rather the footage of what she will look like in-game in the background. And with that, let's jump into what we know now. We know with 100% certainty that she will be a Celtic Guardian. We also know that she will have a stance swap and that this stance swap will be her ultimate. As such, she's considered a true stance switcher like Uller or Hel, who get a change to all their abilities when they use the ultimate. From Hi-Risk video, we know that she will have a druid stance, which will be focused around healing, buffing and debuffing enemies obviously, as well as a bear stance, which will focus more on engaging and also dealing a little more damage. Bear in mind that she is a guardian and will have two different kits, so we can assume that the damage is still not going to be ridiculously high. We also know that both her druid and her bear stance will be melee. She has some sort of magic pulse that she shoots in her druid stance, but it's still a melee attack. In addition, we have further information about her abilities. We know quite a fair bit about her passive now. As well as her abilities, her passive will also change depending on which form she's currently in. In her druid form, successfully hitting an enemy with her ability will heal herself and allies within 20 units of her. In her bear form, successfully hitting an enemy with an ability will make her alone regain some mana. The health restoration is 5%, the mana restoration is 5% as well. While it is not stated here if the health restoration of your allies is 5% of their own health or based on your health, I feel very safe to assume that if this passive goes through like this, the 5% will be 5% of their health. Otherwise, this passive could heal for a ridiculous amount of health if you were just stacking health. In that sense, it's kind of a bit of a reverted kin size. However, what's important to note here is while kin size does deal physical damage, healing basically has a true value unless you're affected by anti-heal, so this is quite a bit more than you would get from a kin size hit. But at the same time, she only has 3 abilities in each stance compared to the usual 4, as she has that stance swap as her ult, which will probably not proc the passive. As such, you can heal up to 15% of your own and your allies' health, as well as restoring 15% of your own mana if you use all your abilities. While it is not stated which of her abilities are for which of her stances, we can make some assumptions here. As she has a staff in her druid form, it's kind of likely that with the spells kind of things that revolves around the magic kind of stuff, certain abilities are more towards that. And that's her first skill, because her first skill is a projectile that explodes on target. This is much more likely to be something that's on her druid's form, so something she shoots out with her staff, probably something that debuffs as well. The other skill that's tied to a 1 is a grounded zone. This is probably something related to the bear stance. However, the grounded zone has something with a deployable as well, which would kind of make more sense for the druid once again. I would still think that the projectile is the druid stance ones, because really a projectile on a bear doesn't make too much sense. The second skill is charge. I am very certain that this will be on the bear based on what Hi-Risk Ajax said, as he said that the bear is gonna be the part of the god that's gonna be there for engaging, and if you have a charge, then you want to use that to engage. The third skill, or one of the third skills, is life tab, and it is stated as a druid life tab projectile, so we definitely know that it's tied to the druid form now, even though we still not quite know what life tab in this context will mean. The other third skill, which was assumed to be an option for the ultimate, will now definitely be Maul, so something that would definitely apply for a bear, as we know that the ultimate will be the stance swap. Last but not least, I think it's important to point out that Hi-Risk Ajax has stated as well that the bear animation in the video is an old version and will look more fluid or better in game. I personally really like the design that the art team chose to go with this god, and I really like everything revolving around it. Even the god abilities and the kit, how it's generally geared so far, sounds really nice to me. It's always a question of how it is executed and if the values for everything add up. And I feel like she will be to the stronger side because she can do so much, but at the same time she seems to be rather single target focused so far, which could kind of make up for that. I'm definitely very excited for her, but as always keep in mind that at least some of the information here is data mine stuff, so it's subject to change, nothing is set in stone yet, though we can assume that quite a fair bit of it is true. As such, I'd like to thank SMITE Data Mining for allowing me to use the information. The link for the data mining will be down below, as well as the link for the video for Artio. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to hit that like, sub, or whatever button if you enjoyed this video. See you all for the next one tomorrow. Duke Sloth, out.